got Frank, the L322 Overlander. I've got Clifford, the Range Rover Classic that I'm rebuilding. And I've got the Series 2A Land Rover as well now. So all the things I need to be getting on with. For the one thing I don't really need to be getting on with is the spare 3.9 V8 engine. So that's the thing I'm going to start with.
Starting to strip it down. Mainly because I want to make it a little bit lighter on the front end before I put it on the engine stand. I'm just going to check to see whether it's been drained of oil. I have a suspicion it is not, so I'm not sure. I'm going to have to bring that over close to the edge, bring this over. Okay, what size is that bloody thing? That's ginormous. That was tight. Ow. Right, might go to lower down a little bit more. Okay, just grab a cloth. No, that's a magnetic end, that one. It's not magnetic. It's also tilting back this way, so we'll get out what we can. Right, let's leave it do that for a little while, and I'll get back to you when it's finished dripping. Okay, we are back, and it's practically stopped dripping. So we are going to just pop the washer back on. With everything else, I might put my gloves back on actually. I have now remembered a microphone, so it will do for the time being. There we go. Right. So now the engine is somewhat empty of oil. Not so nervous about taking like the oil filter off and all that kind of stuff. However, we are going to do that now. Yeah. I will probably cut this open at some point. Let's have a quick look, make sure there's no metal filings or anything like that, any shavings or any damage basically to the engine that I can see just from that. There was okay, wasn't it, to be fair? Like that. Just going to leave that hung up on that for the moment. A little bit of extra security. Right, now let's get the rest of the stuff off. Okay. So what is next? Trying to work out that one there holds this in place. It's so filthy, it's difficult to know. I think this is a one piece, isn't it? What I've got to do is use these holes here. Now these are the main that hold the gearbox onto the actual car, the bell housing onto the car itself. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to choose from. So I've bought 8 threaded rod, basically stainless threaded rod in the right size. I'm going to cut up if I need to, and then I realised I've only got 4 connections anyway, which is a bit dumber. So here we go. So the plan will be to get this, oops, this onto here. Oops, sorry, finger in the way. This will go onto here, basically. Probably quite high up, I would imagine, because that's really top heavy. So if I were to put it down here, it's going to be a really heavy old lump up here. Now obviously I am going to start stripping down the top bit, but whilst it's on there, that is a big engine to put on my frame. It is registered for it. It's 450 kg, so you know we should be fine for it. But you know, that is a mighty old engine, isn't it? So yeah, I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow to finish off taking, so to basically get this on and finish taking off all the ancillaries around the front here. Oil pump, water pump, whatever it might be. Again, I'll look that up. Oil filter housing, probably an oil pump. Oh no, water, idiot. So that will all come off once I get it upside down. I will then obviously take off all the EFI stuff off the inlet manifold and all that kind of stuff as well. And then literally bit by bit, I'm not going to try and clean the whole engine in one piece. It's just an impossible task. When you've got a small unit like I've got, it'll make one hell of a mess. I'm not carting it in and out of the yard all the time. So I'll take off a component at a time, clean it, and then basically stash it away ready to go back on onto the car. So yeah, what should I do now? That's annoying, I've got to wait. I don't like waiting. I might see if I can take the rest of the looms off. Right, what other looms are there I can take off? So we've obviously got another one here. So that's just an earth. So that's a thermostat. I should probably take photos of all this, shouldn't I? That would have been a far cleverer thing to do. And then we've got something I snapped. Damn it, that's well annoying. I might be able to try and fix that. And we've got another one here. That goes to something. But yeah, what a mighty old thing. Quite an exciting project, isn't it? So yeah, the plan will be, whilst I'll come around that side. Sorry. So the plan will be, it's going to kind of be several things all at once, because that's what I'm like, as you've probably learned. So this 3.9, I'd kind of like to get this restored first before I do any other restoration on Hetty. The plan would be to get Hetty just running nicely with the 3.5 in it at the moment and get it on the road. And then when this is finished and ready to go back in the car, it will then be project time for Hetty. So that's when I'll take Hetty off the road, start stripping her down, all that kind of stuff. Because obviously I'm still working on Clifford as well, so I've got to try and work out when I do these things. It's difficult to try and focus on one thing at a time. But yeah, so yeah, I've got to get a few things going. I need to do a bit of learning. I might watch a few YouTube videos on how this front end comes off, just so I know for tomorrow. I think it's probably just those two bottom sump bolts. But there's clearly not any coolant in it, but I just want to make sure I'm not going to go and shove tons of oil all over the place as well. So I'm doing a bit digging, and then you'll be back when I've got some threaded rod and I am putting it onto the engine stand. So that should be right now. Because I am so bloody impatient, I am just fanning about getting things out. So got one of the plugs out. Very dark and sooty. It's a reasonably old plug as well. You can see that. I mean, it's not awful to be fair, but either way. That is, there's a Bosch as well. Probably find it's an original plug. I have bought an endoscope. I don't have it at the moment though, which is somewhat annoying because I can't see down inside the bore. It certainly doesn't look rusty. Clearly I can't show you at the moment, but I will when I get my boroscope thing. So yeah, it turned over pretty well, like manually when I rolled it over. So yeah, it's just a lot of crust everywhere. I am going to do a complete strip down. I'll have a look at the bearings, sort of the camshaft, the crankshaft bearings, all that kind of stuff, and see whether through to the copper or anything like that at all. If it needs doing, I'll do it. We've got a set of lifters with the car, and we've got a new cam. So I assume the guy was looking to do a cam swap. I think it's a standard cam. I don't think it's a high lift cam or anything like that at all. So we'll do a cam on it anyway with lifters whilst the engine's out. We may as well, obviously. And then I think I saw plugs, maybe saw plugs. If not, I'll get plugs. But yeah, otherwise, actually, that's not too bad. It's been stored indoors, I think, by the looks of it, because it's not particularly rusty. I mean, these engines, these Land Rovers have like self-preservation techniques of stopping the rust by just weeping a bit of oil as like a protective coat. It's all very deliberate by Land Rover. Very, very clever. Very, very clever indeed to have an oily, leaky engine because it does stop it from rusting so much. But yeah, that's my story anyway, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, I'm going to have another quick look at the other. Oh, no, it's not. It's just the end. A quick look at the others and see whether they are also a bit sooty. I would imagine they are. I'm going to stop banging my head on this thing in a minute, but not just yet. They're all done up to the same torque as well by the feel of it, so they've not been out. My God, doing my head in, quite literally. Where's my glove gone? So I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think. If I'm wrong, please do correct me. Yeah. Yeah, same. Yeah, really black. But otherwise, not a bad plug. Got another Bosch Super. I'm guessing they're all going to be about the same. Yeah. Black as well. Bit of rust at the top of the bore, but just general moisture, nothing serious. Same again, maybe slightly less. Fine, I wonder if I can peer into those. Oops. Looks nice and oily. Again, I don't. It's difficult to tell at the moment. But they're not in bad shape. When I stopped filming a minute ago, I was like trying to work out, okay, well, I'll take something off. I'll take the exhaust, I'll take the manifold off. But can't take that off because that's where it's being lifted. So, okay, well, I'll take the loom off then. Oh no, I can't because it's being pinned down by the inlet manifold. I'll take the inlet manifold off. Oh no, it's being held on this around this side. But I was like, for God's sake. So I've not been able to take off a great deal. I did take off some hoses at the back here, and I'll show you those quickly because they're awesome. Hang on. So that's where these were. So a little bit rusty. I don't think you're supposed to be able to see my finger through the end of the pipe there. This one's not so bad. So I just need to cut that off and braze on a new piece. Again, not particularly difficult. But the hoses themselves are actually in not bad shape. I am going to run them through the ultrasonic. These are all the hoses. And they're still quite pliable. They're not frayed at the end or anything like that at all. So I am actually just going to run through the ultrasonic. And same with the Jubilee clips, because these are actual genuine Jubilee clips and they still work very well. So I am just going to clean them all up. Try and clean as much as I can. Not just to keep the cost down, but try and keep it a bit more honest. Plus, I mean, you hear it on every other YouTuber's channel as well. Replacement parts just aren't as good a quality, and they really aren't. I mean, Jubilee clips are a typical example. I've bought a pack of those in the past from like Amazon or whatever, and they're stainless, you know, but they're dreadful. They're literally like tin foil. They like break really easily. They look right. They look good. They're just made from inferior metal, I'm assuming. So it is worth keeping hold of genuine clips as much as you possibly can. I did notice that, obviously, when I undid a couple of clips, I broke one clip on the loom, which is a bit annoying. And then I realised that the loom's been completely cut anyway, so I'm probably not going to be able to use this loom. I don't know. I might try and find another one. Again, we'll see, because well, obviously the loom's not going to be the same for the 3.5. But we'll see what we can do. It's literally just been cut where it would go along through to the ECU, which is a bit annoying. I can solder on some new bits, but we'll strip it back and have a quick look at what we can do. So I'm just going to keep peering around, see if there's anything else I can take off in the meantime to try and speed things up for when I get my when I get the threaded rod to put it onto the engine stand. I'm desperate to get it onto the engine stand. Desperate to work on it. It's very, very frustrating. So I'm going to carry on tidying up the workshop, which I've been doing all morning, which is getting there as well, actually. But yeah, so that is that. I am going to stop now, and it will start again when I get this onto the engine frame, or when I go to do it, and I'll let you watch me struggle. Thanks. And as if by magic, we're instantly back again. So we've now got the 4 3/16 studs on. I'm pretty sure it's 3/16, which I got from Amazon, and some nuts. We've got it onto this. This is tightened right up, ready to go. It does sit proud of the crank, which is great, so I can still spin the crank without it catching on anything. So we now need to lift this up, and we need to plonk it onto the engine stand, which sounds really easy, but these things are bloody heavy. So wish us luck.
Yes. Right.
I have got Gene here, so he can phone the ambulance.
I mean, we got the St. John ambulance behind us, don't we?
We do have St. John's ambulance behind us, actually, yeah. You know what, I'm just going to get some gloves on though.
Same.
Because I'll just get complained at later on.
Let me get the red ones that really fit my hands nicely.
Right.
So I've got little hands. Oh, they're not here.
All the gloves are there. They should be there. Right. Okie dokie. Let's see. This should fit in okay. This should. Right. Oh, that's fucking terrifying having that over me.
Yeah, I bet. I've got these ones instead.
Yeah, that'll do.
These are cool.
Yeah. Oh, that nearly pulled the fucking thing over.
Do you want me to push on the other side?
Hellbells. Yeah, it's so heavy.
Oh my god!
Right, that'll do. That'll do.
Yeah?
Yep. So then what we'll do. There is an easy way of doing this. This is the way I've done it before. Is that actually, don't worry about trying to aim it. You just hook it on. Like that.
Just put a bolt in there.
and then
I'm
just
not
load it
putting my
down.
finger in there. That's scary.
No, I probably didn't put your finger in there. Yeah, fingers?
Yeah, yeah.
It's come back out again, isn't it? Oh, fine.
No?
There you go, it's not even tilting.
That's scary. I don't like that.
And there we go. It's on the engine mount. Woohoo!
I mean, that's terrifying. Like, how can this... It's hooked on by that.
Yeah, I know. Mad, isn't it?
That's terrible.
It's surprising, really. I mean, they're all tightened right in. Imagine the amount of force that's in that. You wouldn't get your finger jammed in that, would you? So,
No, I reckon it'll probably break
it
off.
is on the mount. There's no weight on that now. So it is time to move that away.
Yeah.
Yes, the last time I used this, I had the Corrado VR6 engine in it, which was not quite as heavy as this. But this has done a great job. I took off probably about 15 kilos yesterday in like the water pump and all some bits and pieces like that. So I tried to make it a bit lighter. So the next step is to kind of just keep things tidy. And I'm going to start by taking the inlet manifold off and the whole, basically the whole area here, the whole inlet.
Smack it with a hammer. That always works.
Sadly, not always. Sometimes
In
it
this
does.
case, it works. Can you even see me? Hold on.
Hopefully not.
No, you. Oh, that's not nice. You better cut that out.
Yeah, I'll cut it out.
It's just rude. Look.
Okie dokie. First look inside inlet. Well, we've still got our hose here. Hang on.
There's a hose my side as well.
That's fine.
Yay! Yes! Me.
Right, Jubilee clip.
Golden night.
Right, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Think that's everything now. Oh, sorry about that.
Sorry.
Right, okay. Anything else?
Nope, that looks it.
Lovely job.
Oh, look at those. What are they called?
The inlet trumpets.
Look at the trumpets. They are very nice. Are they?
It's not in bad shape, all of this.
No, that's pretty dirty, but like, it's going to be dirty.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
These are got like.
This is all right,
Stuff
to be
on.
fair, all of this.
Okay.
Oh, that was easy enough. Right, I need to plug this back on. Right, I need to get the, could you get the camera for me? I need you.
Ugh, right.
We've done some reference shots, hence why you have changed position. And now I'm going to carry on taking away these bolts on the top. Do they need? Yeah. Like that. I think. And there we go. Hello. Beauty. I can't wait to clean all this up. It's going to look like jewellery when I'm finished. Okay, so that's that. So far, I'm not seeing anything that's making me worry that anything's in bad shape, which is great. So Next thing is to pull this fuel rail off. There we go. Right. On the fuel rail, ever so slightly bent, but I can now get to that switch, which is the only reason I actually did this. Eve, we have the engine loom off.
What's an engine loom?
This.
Oh.
If you look up rather than being on your phone.
Sorry, I'm trying to win a game here.
And as you can see, the loom was literally cut off. So whether or not I use this, I don't know. We'll work it out when the time comes, which is going to be probably about 10 years' time, knowing the speed at which I restore things. Wonderful. Okay, we're in good shape. What else did I want to get out? I want to get that little thing out as well, please. That's fine. And there's another one down there as well. That's not even from me, that one. That's stuck in the grease. Crikey. That got proper stuck in there, that did. There's that one with a washer as well. There's a hole there. Not sure what that hole is for. That was a little worrying, but I'm sure it's a hole that's supposed to be there. There's a hole in all four places there, so I'm sure that's normal. Well, there we go. We have an engine with a loom off. What did I want to take off now? I want to get this breather off, because that was irritating me a little bit. Right. Okay, there's a bolt there somewhere. Oh no, it's just mud. Okay, I'm going to reposition you, and then should we take our rocker covers off and see how bad the engine is?
Yeah.
Right, okie dokie.
Let's do this. Where did I put my other gloves? Take my watch off.
Oh, it's so exciting!
Yay!
Is it weird that we find this kind of stuff exciting? Right.
Let's
just twist you out of the way.
Oh.
Right, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, that looks so cool. I don't know what it is.
Yikes!
It's wow, look at all that.
That
What is that?
Not wonderful.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, I've got a bit of movement there. Okay. That's fine. They are. Oh dear.
That's horrible. I don't know. That looks so. I reckon what this side is worse.
Right, I think that's it. I'm not sure about this one. No, you don't need to take that one off. Right, careful as we go, okay? Because I want to see if there's anything else that's caught or plugged in, anything like that at all.
These are plugged in.
What plugged in?
This.
To this top end manifold?
Pretty sure, yeah, that's plugged into that.
With fingers.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, so much stuff just came out of that.
There we go.
Why is there like yellow in it?
Can you use that WD-40 for me? How are we looking under there? Nice.
Oh, that actually looks quite clean. This one's actually like rusty.
Yeah, I know. Here we go. Hang on.
Yeah, I can't even.
I got it.
Sure?
Yep.
Ooh, that's so dirty.
Wow. Okay, we've done a few bits and pieces off camera, mainly because they're bloody hard. So we've got this pulley out and I've disassembled the bottom pulley. So these pulleys here came apart, that came off, and I've now got the shield off the back of that as well, which is still a little bit warm. Got one here to give that some heat, and then the actual the back part of the actual pulley comes off as well. So that's off, which is great. I'm just starting to take the nuts and bolts and stuff off. I'm leaving some bits on that I don't need to take off. Got the other rocker cover off, and that is equally as bad, if not slightly worse. So, you know, is what it is. And I've also got the exhaust manifolds off. So they're both off. They were really weird because they were like finger tight, which is really odd. Now that might not be odd normally because, you know, somebody's been working on the engine, all that kind of stuff. But all the lock tabs were still locked over. Like properly locked over, not just tapped over, properly locked over. And they were all practically finger loose, finger tight. So very odd. So I would imagine this thing's been kicking out all sorts of exhaust fumes, and I don't know whether it's the gasket's deteriorated and it's made it loose. I don't know, but very odd. So what I want to do now is get it up the other way, get the belly pan off, the oil pan, have a quick look what it's like inside there. Hopefully it's not too miserable. If there's any oil to drop out, I'll try and catch as much as I can of it. I might just bung that side and bring that this side, just in case I can catch some. Right. Let's try and get that in there. Probably won't be a lot of oil in that, to be fair. Right. There we go. I am rapidly feeling pretty unwell at the moment. There appears to be some kind of lurgy going around that everyone seems to have got. My neighbour's got it, my wife's had it, and I've been trying to not get it, but my throat is hurting now. So where is the banger? What the hell have I done with that? Oh, down here. Ugh. Right, shall we see if this is sealed? A lot of sealant down this end. You might be able to see it. But it is disconnected in the sense that, oh dear me, I don't think that seal's been doing much for a while. Whoa. Yikesy. It's not the worst I've seen, but it is one of them. There's no, I mean, that is literally caked, like thick sludge. I know you see these on YouTube, but I don't know if you can actually see that. But that is like thick. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's sealant. Oh, Christ, I thought it was a bloody piston ring. It's not, it's just sealant. Loads and loads of sealant. So that'll get a good clean out. We'll stick it on a mirror. Make sure it's completely flat. If it's flat, we'll reuse it. Just needs a good clean. To be fair. So, how are we looking down here? Let's get Mr. Magnet and see just how bad it is down here. I'm hoping that's not magnetic. What the hell that is, but it's not a very comforting thing. There's all sorts of crap on that. But it's not bearing. What is that? Try and show you what I'm looking at. It's not magnetic. But yeah, anyways. The engine's coming apart anyway. I'm not particularly fussed at the moment. But there's just so much crud in here. It's probably fallen in through the top, to be fair. Because there's crud everywhere. But once I pull this filter off, I'll go around all this. Oh, I hate seeing this sealant. But you see it on all these cars. Yeah. So I'm gonna, what can we get off? Probably hasn't finished coming out just yet. It hasn't. This is just a really messy engine, to be fair. Oh, God's sake, there's still one in there. There we go. There's our timing chain cover. Oh, that's pretty gross too, to be fair. Everything on this engine is pretty gross. All the oil pump's pretty good though. A little bushing in there is pretty good. So there are some good things, there's some bad things. Lots of nuts and bolts and stuff coming off. Yikes. So that can go over there. And have a quick look at the timing chain. So am I going nuts? Is it safe to assume that where the hell is where's the chain tensioner? That can't be how it is. There's got to be a chain tensioner. There's got to be.
So this is kind of my slow descent into madness. I wasn't particularly familiar with this engine before I really sort of took it apart. So when I found the kind of inch of movement on the chain, on the timing chain, I kind of thought there must be some kind of chain guide or something. But there isn't. It's literally just a stretched chain. I could not believe that it had stretched that much. No joke, it wasn't an exaggeration. It was probably about an inch of movement from side to side on that right-hand side. The left-hand side was in full tension. So, God only knows how badly this engine would have run. But either way, that was, a few minutes of me thinking there must be a tensioner because it was just so bad. But yeah, no tensioner, just a bad chain. So once I finally came to terms with the fact that there was no tensioner, it was time to get rid of the timing chain setup and both the gears. So they came off pretty straightforward, to be honest. The Woodruff keys stayed in the crankshaft and the camshaft, so I didn't try and force those out, just left them in there. They're not going to fall out, and everything came off pretty easily, to be fair.
So I do want to get the engine turned back over and start looking at getting the heads off. So let's go through all of that again as I did yesterday. The heads off. Probably the bit I've been most looking forward to with this engine. Stripping all this stuff down, because my God, look at the state of it. I mean, honestly. and that wouldn't have come out without that. So that's the right move. Okay, that is everything off. Move that on for the moment. What an absolute tool. I'm so glad I didn't use any more force. What an absolute tool. I misread the manual. I saw only 12 bolts. So I hold my hands up for being an absolute chuffing idiot. Thank you so much to the person that commented on my short about there being an extra bolt buried under there. Honestly, let me show you, because this is just ridiculous. So this is the head. I got the bolts out, these three here. There is indeed another bolt. Sorry if I'm in a bit of a wonky angle. One there, and then believe it or not, there is one underneath there as well. So it's just so much stuff, I didn't see it. How insane is that? So now I am going to get that head off, as I successfully got the other one off. What a tool. I can't believe I didn't see that. How embarrassing, but there we go. I'm not going to hide it. We make mistakes. Fucking idiot. What an idiot. But yeah, anyways. Sometimes I'm just not thinking clearly, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes you just got to admit that you're an idiot. I admit I'm an idiot on this one. I'm really embarrassed. But, you know, shit happens. Dowels are still working at least. That, proper embarrassing. Right, let's bung this over there. So, the upside is, however, let me just remove my gloves. Okay. What we are looking at is some pretty good cylinders here. Let me get a torch. Hang on. Look at that. That is not that bad. There's no scoring. I mean, you can't see any honing or anything, but there's no scoring. That may be a little bit, but I think it's just mainly the... Might be a little bit there. Again, yeah, that's not bad. Wonderful. What an absolute mare. Okay, look, I'm not going to mention this, so let's keep this between us, shall we? Right, whip the engine frame back out again. The engine hoist, lift back out again, taking the weight off. Going to get it up so it's hanging. Look at that. Should be fine. Quickly nip these off, and then these are now actually. That. Don't change that shape. And then just need to get that. Ideally, could do that thing back on the crank. Oh, there we go. That's come off. I thought it would come off easily. That's off. starter pulley is off, or starter gear. That's everything from that, so I can put this back on now. There's nothing else I need to get off this end. Pigging pain in the ass. Right, so we've got the starter wheel off. And we are ready to take these off now. So, fucking hell. I need to stop swearing, but what a mission. Right, massive thank you to Ivor. I think it's devised his vapor blasting, but he's lent me a 30mm multi-point socket, which I don't have, and that works for the con rods. What a pain in the backside that was. So I'm gonna nip these off quickly now, and then get this back over to Ivor. So okie dokie, we are back, and I've given the socket back to Ivor. So I appreciate that. So we are gonna start by taking. I'm just gonna scribe these first. Hang on. Right. And there we go. That's the first one. It's not going through to the copper, but there's definitely some. Oh, I can feel that through a glove. So the bearings will all be done anyway. I'm not gonna be keeping these. And to be fair, they are not worn through. They're starting to show wear there. And there's no real massive score. We might have to get that polished out. I'm not sure yet. But either way, that's that one. And I scored that. Put two little marks down there. And there we go. There's one. So let's get that married up. There's the scoring. Right, there we go. So that's in. Get these on. Rightio. Where are we at now? Now we're at the fun bit. And that is taking out the crank. Except everything is so greasy, can't grip it. So these are 16mm, I think, no they're not, 19mm. Not sure how tight these are going to be. Pretty tight. Oh, Jesus, yeah, pretty tight. All right, hang on. Shit. Okay, so gonna wait till I've got my big breaker bar. That is not here, that is at home. I keep forgetting to bring it in. And now you've got to be gentle. Getting this out. So don't burr up all the bearings. And there we go. We've got a lovely camshaft. Look how worn away that is. That's crazy. Wow. I don't know if that's oil starvation or not, but I mean, that is mental, isn't it? Either way, we won't be using that camshaft again. I have got a new one over there, so that came with the car, which looks to be an identical one. It doesn't look like it's a high lift one or anything performance, just a standard Brit Part one probably. But yeah, but these, let's see what these bearings are like, shall we? Good bit of table art. Oh, they're not too bad. There is almost no wear on those at all. That's rather nice. There's no sign running through. Oh, what's that? Oh, no, that's just a entry point. That's all right. They all look pretty good in there. Wowee! So, yeah, they're not too bad. So now we've just got to... Do they come out this way? There we go. That's one. Now I'm changing all of these, which is good because that's got some shape to it. Let's see, can you see that? I hold it up. Look at that. So that's got some real shape to it. So yeah, all that's, and it's almost got a burr, which is why it's not coming out very easily. It's almost got a burr to it. So I'm not even going to bother marking these up because we're not going to use these. That's all the lifters out. I'll count them up just to make sure I haven't forgotten any. Right. They're all about the same with regards to wear. They've all got that kind of beveled shape, which is what you'd expect really on something that's going around and burrowing, so to speak. So what we're left with is just the crank and these bolts. Now I cannot get these caps off at the moment because I don't have a strong enough whizzy gun. Okie dokie, we are back in action. I have found my breaker bar. So we're going to try again for a second attempt to get the crank out. It shouldn't be complicated. So I think it was a, can't remember, what was it, 16 socket, something like that, 16 mil. It was a 19. So we should be able to make some. Ooh, still tough to, I need to pull it. One there. Which one did we do there with that one? And then that one. And then that one. Well, that should be all of them. Should be. Okay. Let's go through these. Yeah, some pretty bad wear on that one. Let's grab a cloth. So that's the front bearing. There's some scoring down there. So much of that you can see. Let's have a look. So you can see the scoring going down there. And it's worn through almost the copper in a couple of places as well. But I bet that scoring matches up with the one above as well. So that one beneath it. So that's that one. Ouch. Let's keep that in. Or that goes there. You can stay there, please. Right. Okay, what's this one like? Wow! So, yeah. That one, I would say, is worn through to the copper. Good grief. There's like none of that finish. Look at that. That is right the way through. You can see that. Hopefully you can. Right the way through it, right the way across. There is no finish left on that bearing whatsoever. That's all gone through to the copper. So hopefully that hasn't damaged the crankshaft, because the crank doesn't look too happy there. I'll bring you in closer when I get these all off, but that's not a happy crank, which is a bit annoying. Yep, yeah, this engine was worn out. So hopefully we can rebuild it, but it's worn right through to the copper in here, and it's worn right through to the copper on both sides of that thrust bearing as well. I would say this thing is either overheated or just not had any oil changes at all, or just been slammed through its life, I would say. So yeah, they're not looking too happy at all. I can't imagine it's going to get any better at the back. There's more scoring in that one as well. Crikey. So something's gone down there. It has marked the crankshaft, but that one is pretty bad too. So again, you can see, look at that scoring there right the way through, and that's nearly all the way through as well. So it's not like we're going to suddenly get a bearing that goes, oh, we don't need to rebuild this. That's pretty damn awful. So the last one is this one. And I think these ones are slightly more difficult to get up because, again, it's that. Not sure how they say to remove those. I might have to quickly look that up because I don't want to go and break it. But there's nothing to lever against, which seems to be quite a common theme on this. There we go. It's coming. It's a boy. Wicked, and I haven't damaged any of that crap in there either. Whew, oblige me. That was tight, to say the least. And we've got another completely worn out bearing, tons of scoring in it. Yeah, some on the crank as well. So the crank's going to have to be milled, definitely, I would imagine. So, whew, okay. Fine. Oblige me, O'Reilly. Right. Fine, okie dokie. Okay, right. So, that's done. The last thing to do now, take that out. This is quite an exciting moment for me. Got somewhere to put the crank. Yes, we have. I always forget how light those cylinder heads are. They're actually quite light. Right, and here we go. Jeebus, that's not light. That's quite a weighty old thing. That is a weighty old thing. That weighs more than cylinder heads. Right, okie dokie. I would imagine this pulley will have to come off because we've got an oil seal here as well. But yeah, this is all going to have to go to a machine shop anyway, because that's been quite badly scored. Although weirdly, I don't really know why that would be, but on the underside of all these bearings, I'll try and bring you along for the trip. Hang on. So on the underside, or the top of the bearings, in fact, actually, I'm guessing it's to do with pressure, is that they're nowhere near as bad. That front one is terrible, but all of them were bad, yet none of these particularly worn through. I'm not going to use any of them, that's not what I'm suggesting, but it's quite clear that they are definitely not as worn on the top, which is weird. Unless it's gone through the copper, I don't even know. No, because the copper is the substrate, isn't it? So, yeah, weird. There's a lot of sparkly stuff. I don't know if you can see that. So, yeah. Either way, these bearings are going to need to come out. And just got to get that stud out. And then this can go to, well, this can go outside actually first, and we're going to get it all cleaned up. Gunk it, clean it all up as much as I possibly can, and then have a look. Because actually, I was looking at the bores. The bores themselves are so, well, I think they're pretty good, because there's no corrosion lower down on the bores. We've got some marking there, which I need to have a double check on. Again, that might just be a bit of honing, we can get rid of that. But the rest of the bores are all pretty good. And what I noticed that there's a mild lip on the bores. I don't know if you can see them or not. So there is a mild lip. But like not a corroded lip or anything. So I don't know. Either way, I'm not the one to make that decision. This is going to need to go to the machine shop to get redone, basically. But one thing I was looking for was these. Now these bearings are the ones that need to get pressed in, and that looks pretty shit to me. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that in there. I don't know if you can see or not. Try and get to focus on it. Yeah. Scratches there. That looks pretty terminal for a bearing, and there's not much. I don't know. Yeah, I think they're going to need to be replaced as well. So that needs to be replaced. These ones in here don't look much better either. In fact, they look pretty bad. Again, try and focus in there. In there. Yeah. So apparently they get progressively smaller as they go in. So when it gets to the back, it's the smallest one. So obviously you can get the thing through without it jamming up. But they all look pretty bad, which is annoying because I can't do those. They need to be pressed in from the machine shop, so it's another thing they're going to need to do. Yeah, not great. Either way, we've got it all disassembled now. I'm going to take the bearing shells off. There's a couple of bolts and stuff knocking about. I might try and get that stud off as well. But otherwise, that is ready to go outside and just get gunked and cleaned up as much as we possibly can. And then I don't think I've got a box big enough to put that in. No, I haven't, so that's just going to have to go on a rag somewhere. And then we can get that in the van and over to the machine shop, which I haven't actually found a machine shop yet. So if any of you know a decent machine shop near Devizes and you fancy doing this work, or you know somebody's going to do the work, Devizes in Wiltshire, postcode is SN10. So if you know decent people who are interested in doing this kind of work and actually doing the honing or reboring, maybe doing skims on the cylinder heads and all that kind of stuff and setting the engine up, that would be great. So any recommendations would be wonderful, because there's not one on the industrial estate that we have here. So there's some like a few hours away and stuff like that, but if there's anybody locally that you know of, please leave a comment. That would be much, much appreciated. So I'm not going to film cleaning it, that's quite boring, but I'm going to give it a good clean up and arrange to get this all sorted. So that's going to be the end of this video. It's probably been really long. It's probably been really long. I'm hoping it hasn't been too bad. We've done it over like probably about 20 different days, so it's probably quite like disjointed and stuff, but we got the engine apart. I'm hoping we can get this rebuilt and ready so that it can go into Hetty. That's the plan, but we'll see. But anyway, until next time, really appreciate you showing up. Please give me a like, it really helps the channel. We're like 825 people now, so we're so close to monetization, that'd be great. Because I spent a fortune. But yeah, give me a like if you can, if you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I've got plenty of other things going on at the moment. We've just consolidated the rest of our projects. So I'll give you a very brief glimpse. It's the first time you will have seen these, but this is a very, very brief glimpse of my other projects going on. So if you like motorbikes, Ducatis, that's other stuff that's going to be going on as well. That's more our winter project stuff when I don't want to go outside. So yeah, until next time, please subscribe, share with all your friends and all that kind of stuff. And I'll see you again. Thanks ever so much for joining me.